How's it going? John Bonham here, Cape Cod Wet Shaving. It has been a minute, about 20 days. All right, let me start with coffee of the day. I got a lot to talk about. Holiday blend from Cape Cod Coffee. I told you I got like 6 of these. I got like 4 of each blend towards the end of the holidays. I have like 2.5 bags left after this one, but it's one of my favorites. I did a reel about it, or a photo or post or something. So, bless you, Jess. I almost did this video twice and stopped twice. This is about Yuri, obviously. I had said during Shave Masters I was going to do a video about him, and I was very much on the fence. So much going on, I should really do 2 separate videos. So I'll push some stuff to the side that has to do with me personally. The only thing I'm going to say is that I was this close to quitting doing YouTube. Only because I've been extremely frustrated with just the lack of continuity on my end. And I'm sure, a lot of you people have as well. I've had a very noticeable drop in both content that I've put out there and my usual routine. Mondays, I would just do random shave videos talking, shave and chat, as we call them. And then Thursdays, I would do the history shaves. Every now and then I do a Tuesday reviews day, whatever I called it. So it's a combination of the baby. I have 2 kids under 2. My wife's home on maternity leave. That's coming to an end in about a month. And we've been really just taking care of stuff around the house, doing stuff together, spending quality time together. Because that's one thing I won't do is leave my family in the lurch just to go do my stuff, obviously. So I can't tell you how many times I have actually literally been set up like this to do a video, and it doesn't happen. I'll have everything written out. The Don Knotts video, it took me 4 days. I wrote that stuff out, and it took me 4 days to finally shoot that. So I am sorry for that, but I was so frustrated. I was getting angry because I'm just like, I can't do it, and it's just aggravating. So I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to do it when I can do it. I beat myself up horribly. I'm trying desperately to stick to a routine that simply cannot be adhered to right now. This is temporary. This isn't for good. In fact, oddly enough, I think when my wife goes back to work, I'll have more of a set routine with the babies. So I think I'll be able to fire off a video, oddly enough, with one less adult, easier, if that makes sense. So, anyway, with that out of the way, that's all I wanted to say really about myself personally. The shave's dedicated to, I knew him as Yuri. Most of y'all knew him as Ygor. His name was Ygor Yuri de Santos, I believe. I know it was Santos. I can't remember if it was Del Santos or De Santos. I believe it was De Santos. Awesome dude. Y'all, it's been really cool seeing how much I've seen his smiling face on my feed. It's like a nice last hurrah of him, because anytime that he would pop up on my feed, you'd see that smile. His reel started with that smile, and it ended with the wave and the thumbs up with the smile. So the last set that he put to film, I already shaved with this once, but I did not do a video. So I wanted to do a video talking about Yuri, how I knew him. It was Timescape from Hags. He loved Hags. In fact, I talked to Demetrios maybe 3 days ago. He messaged me. Just, we were back and forth like, I can't believe this. And Demetrios had said, like, I literally lost sleep. And I said, I did too, which I did. I was laying there thinking about just how quick. You'll understand a little bit more, but how you doing, Demetrios, as well, if you see this. But it was just so quick. Whoops. Forgot to fill this up. Excuse the water for a second. I was about to go spray my face and I didn't have it loaded. I fill it up and then I load it. So anyway, this will likely be a longer video. That's okay. So I first talked to Yuri, ever. And I called him Yuri. He introduced himself to me as Yuri. I don't know if Ygor was professional and Yuri was personal, or he just didn't care one way or the other. I asked his wife, Susanna. Hello, Susanna, if you happen to see this as well. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And she had just said that he went by both, so no preference. There's a couple of pictures that she sent me, personal ones, that I was briefly thinking about posting on here. I'm not going to do it. One of them is a picture in her home of a lot of his stuff that he loved, just sitting there as a tribute to him. And the other photo was this huge crowd of people facing the water on a beach with the sun setting directly behind them, so they're silhouetted from the front at his service. Those are personal for her. I'm not going to post those. But I'll post a couple things if I think about it. Anyway, wow, 6.5 minutes in. Haven't even started. I'm just going to post the sent notes of this stuff. It's a lot. I'll put it in the description if you're curious. I'm not going to list them off. I didn't even write them down. I forgot. I just wanted to do this. I wanted to, but I'm not looking forward to it at the same time. I have no pre-shave on. I just washed my face. And I'm wearing this Templar hoodie on purpose. So, I first spoke to Yuri in 2022. I thought it was 2023. But no, I went back and looked, and he had liked a couple of things I put on my story. And that was really it. I spoke to him for the first time, I believe in mid-2023. And it was just wet shaving stuff, nothing major, nothing to write home about. I'm so tempted to, start out and do this. I don't know how he did that without accidentally hitting his camera. I'd smear soap all over my camera every time. But I didn't actually meet him and talk to him in earnest. Oops. Until 2024. So I didn't know him that long. This is the Cortex base from Hags. I did not add enough water right off the bat. That's why I was sitting there studying for a second. It was stringy. That was another thing, man. His lather was just impeccable. And I actually had a couple of soaps that he used that two of them, I went back and lathered them because I'm like, I did something wrong. Because if he lathered it like that, then I didn't do it right. But for those who don't know, Yuri had sickle cell. From what I've read, it's lifelong, incurable. And I would assume as you get older, it gets worse. So sickle cell, there's an actual medical term for it, and I forget what it is already. It's where your blood cells, which are usually spherical, they look like a tube you'd float down a river on, lecturing you on stuff you learned in middle school. They come out looking like sickle crescent shapes. They're I don't want to say mutated. I don't think maybe mutated. They just don't form correctly. Well, because of that, the oxygen exchange within your lungs doesn't go correctly. Nutrient absorption and distribution throughout your body to your major organs does not go correctly. I mean, everything, your blood doesn't work right. So when I met him in 2024, he was going through some complications with that. I didn't know this at the time. Well, we were chit-chatting about kids. He had 5 little girls, 5 daughters. I think a few of them are not so little anymore. But once a baby, always your baby, you know what I mean? So I was talking about, he had a knee injury. One of his daughters had banged into him or something and messed up the tendons in one of his knees. And somehow the conversation went to back pain. I personally have mild sciatica. Flares up, usually after manual labor or something. But every now and then I'll wake up and my day is screwed. Because it hurts so bad that I just, you're supposed to like move and be active with sciatica. The last thing you want to do. But it actually helps. So we were chatting about that, and about 15 minutes later, I started getting all these links from him that he's sending me in DMs on Instagram. I'm like, what are these? He said, well, I suffer from back pain myself, from sciatica, coincidentally. This is what I do for my sciatica. And there's all these stretches and, things you can do to stretch out your pelvic bowl or whatever it's called. I just know that term from The Office. But at the time, I'm like, that was really cool of this guy. He doesn't even know me. I said, thank you very much. In fact, I think that might be when I learned his name, that conversation. He said, you're very welcome. And that's when I was like, this is a good guy. This is a guy worth knowing. And it's only now that I look back and know that he was already going through his own personal health stuff. And he still took that moment to help me over what is in essence a stub toe compared to what he was going through. Forgot to mention I'm using the Ariana Nevins razor. I forget the name of it. I didn't come prepped at all. I just wanted to do this. But it does have a Rex blade. You can see it. Third use. This isn't the push one. It's the TTO one. I won this at the giveaway. How you doing, Peter? If you ever see this. And I wanted to use a black razor. A black horsehair volleyball. For obvious reasons as well. But no, he was suffering through his own stuff, and he took the time to help a complete stranger, which I was. And now that I've talked to other people and his wife, it's just how he was. I mean, you'd figure if he did something like that, he must have done it often for several people, which it turns out he did. So right at the end of October of last year, 2024, and we kept in touch loosely. I say loosely, like maybe every few weeks we'd say what's up to each other. Every couple of weeks. The interesting thing about him, I know this is kind of different direction. His name was Ygor Yuri. He was Cape Verdean, or at least his father was. That's another thing. That's what got the ball rolling with talking to him. Was I did a post with Biro de Barbera, I don't know how to pronounce it. And I used a type of music for the post that I liked, knew nothing about it. And he contacted me and he said, hey, I just wanted you to know, I love that brand of soap. And the music you picked is a music known as Funanya. Funana. I hope I'm pronouncing that. Bear with me with the pronunciations. Funanya. Which is it's an upbeat Cape Verdean style of music utilizing the accordion. Didn't know that until I looked it up. And it reminded him of his father. His father was Cape Verdean, which was a Portuguese protectorate, I believe, at the time. I don't think it still is. And I had said, that's awesome. That makes me very happy. I'm glad to hear that. And I meant it. And that's how we met. So he has, in essence, a Russian name. He's Cape Verdean, and he lives in Ireland. Pretty cool. You'll probably hear my toddler getting in trouble. Yeah. He's a terror. Gets in everything, climbs everything, throws things, throws tantrums, terrible twos, full swing, and he's not even two. Anyway, she's letting me do this. Thank you, Jess. Love you, babe. Gonna miss when you go back to work. So anyway, end of October. Probably, I think the beginning of November, actually. He messaged me out of the blue. He said, I went to the doctor for my sickle cell. They found something in my bones. It's like, oh shit, that's no good. Now, because of his sickle cell, your blood is produced in your bone marrow. So because of his sickle cell, they couldn't just straight up diagnose anything. I mean, it's not good. They find anything other than marrow, healthy marrow in your bones, but they didn't want to sound any alarms yet. So he was saying that, I have to go back. We have these additional tests we have to do. About a week later, he messaged me again. And it was, unfortunately, a form of bone cancer. He had said it's incurable. Now, our messages back and forth, I don't think we're through the translator. He did speak English. Pretty good English, actually. But he was saying it was incurable. I don't know if he meant untreatable. But he said he was going to try anyways. And it turns out he was going to go through chemo. Which he did. He started treatment, and he was going through treatment. And for those of you who interacted with him who didn't know this, he was going through treatment and probably suffering to some degree. All through December, throughout Christmas, through our Thanksgiving in the United States, and anywhere else it's celebrated in November. And through January. He still took the time to wish us a Merry Christmas. I'll have to go back and look. I do think he said Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Maybe I'm wrong. Not that I don't think they celebrate it in Ireland. But he knew it was, the American Thanksgiving Day for the United States. But he also took the time to say Merry Christmas. You would never think anything was wrong. And again, I knew he was going through treatment and sick. But none of us knew how sick. Not until January 22nd. January 3rd was the last time I talked to him. I'm going to post, this is the last message he ever sent me. This is the last time we talked, as it turns out. It was the last thing he said to me. I'm not going to show the whole conversation. That's for me. Nothing bad, it's just, it's just about him and his treatment and what he was talking about and going through. But look at those emojis at the bottom. He sent that strong arm emoji after everything he said. And the way he spoke, he just You'd never think it was as bad as it was. And his wife had said, like, she still can't believe it. It all happened so fast. She's still waiting. Last night I was talking to her. She said she's still waiting for him to get out of the hospital. It's like sad. It broke my heart. Like, it happened so quick, and she's just so in shell shock that she just can't believe he's gone. None of us can. But that message, I think what he was trying to say, we'll see how it goes. That message torments me a little. Now, I'm taking it harder than I probably should, because there's plenty out there that knew him better than I did. But first of all, I take death seriously no matter what it is. Death bugs the shit out of me. Excuse my French, it just does. It pisses me off. That's the main thing I realized I was. But once the shock wore off, I was pissed. Because I'm like, that is not fair. That is not fair. He was a great dude, and he didn't deserve that. I had every opportunity to reach out to him. When Andy from the wet shaving store was sick, I backed off. There's a buddy of mine, Josh. He was going through some stuff in his personal life. I backed off. We actually don't really talk anymore. He's, life's taken him in a different direction, but even then, I wish I had reached out a little more to check in on him. But when someone's going through something like that, and I know they got family and all that stuff, I back away. It's not because I'm weirded out or anything like that. It's because I do not want to be that guy that pesters you. I don't want to take you away from your family. I don't want to bother you. Who knows what will happen. So I don't want you to be distracted talking to me about who knows what. You should be with your family, your folks, living your life, doing whatever. I figure if you want to chat, if a while had gone by, I would have. In fact, I did a couple times. I reached out to him. It had been a while. But, I could have reached out to him, and I didn't. And I had the time to do it, and I didn't know I had the time to do it, and that time was limited. And I know nobody knows, but it's still, I am beating myself up for it that I could have reached out to him one more time. January 3rd. And I didn't realize how much I liked him until he was gone. He helped a lot of people, as it turns out. He helped me. I have the new Admiral Bowl, by the way, from Captain's Choice, if you've been eyeballing this. This is the last one they just released. Look at how beautiful this thing is. But two things I want to point out that are kind of ironic. Maybe I'm looking too much into it, but I don't. It's the stuff I look at. The last set he used was timelessness. We're all on borrowed time. Things like this should be a lesson. I'm terrible at learning lessons. I usually learn them the hard way. Hopefully this is a nudge. But the other thing he was using, and I still don't know what kind of razor it was. It might have been a pearl. But if you look at the razor he was using, it said life on it. And he seemed to really enjoy his. Susanna had said that the way he was in the videos, that's how he was. I believe it. There is, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this. There's a GoFundMe being run by Dave. I always forget his handle. You guys know. There's Andre from Barba Tradicional and Dave from Eowyn Shaving. No, that's a freaking character in Lord of the Rings. I'm gonna kick myself, but I'll put everything down in the description. There's a GoFundMe link, they're doing raffles for different things. There's Cody Todd, how you doing, man? True Till Death Shaves has donated a brush for this. Highland Brushes has donated a brush. I myself donated the last Cape Cod brush from Alpha Shaving that I did with Steve from Alpha Shaving worldwide. So for me, if you go pay 20 pounds, put it towards his wife and his daughters, you automatically get entered to win that globally. So I'll put the link to that down there. Please go check it out. Just they could use all the help they can get. I asked her twice, do you need some help? And she didn't answer me. So I know that they're probably pretty private, but I think just her life, they were married 27 years. All right, they've known each other since she was 14 years old. Her life is just upended. So I feel so bad for them. Yeah, so please consider donating to him. Even if you didn't know him, take my word for it. He was a freaking great guy. Really good man. And his family could, use some assistance. So let me rinse this off. I'm going to do post shave, okay? Be right back. Okay. But yeah, he was a laid back dude. Very easy to talk to, and we just talked about family and life and friends and wet shaving friends. And it's cool because I was going back looking at his stuff every now and then. I'll go out and have a cigar, and his wife's going to keep his stuff open, his YouTube channel and all that. But I'll go back and look at his reels. It's sad, but I smile. You can't help it. You just see. And then he'll do the thing, and then open it. Like it's... Love it. I'm going to miss that, man. And then he would just shake his brush, swirl. And I was telling Joe Kate this from, how you doing, Joe? I was on the phone with him. We were talking about him. One of my favorite things was when he would take his top cap of his razor and then in little quick video snippets, assemble his razor and then screw it. And then he was really good at making those videos. Full disclosure, before I met him, very briefly, I was jealous of him. I was looking at it, I'm like, man, this guy's getting all this recognition, way more than me, and he doesn't even freaking talk. That didn't last long, thankfully. He was that good. Really good. Love it, man. But it was just, it was his own thing. He made his own brand without uttering a word. But I was going back and looking, and I found Enrique, Millennial Shaver. Hey, Enrique. Had done an interview with him. And I didn't know that. And so I started watching the interview, and I couldn't make it through it. I was like 15 minutes into it, and I just was like, nah, I can't finish this. Not that it was bad. I just, I was torn up. So Dave, from the, I think Retro Shaving Podcast is what he's from. Is the name of his podcast. He's going to release the interview he did with him. Or maybe it was Andre. Whoever, I think it was Andre. One of them I was talking to is going to release the interview they did with him. And I flat out said I'm probably not going to make it through the whole thing. So, well, I don't know. Hope that shed a little bit of light on stuff. I did it for me too. It's a cliche thing to say that they're great and all that stuff. And this is going to sound dickish, and I don't mean it that way at all. It's a darker community now, all that stuff, but it really is. He was just such a good dude. Even a few people have reached out and I didn't know him. They've asked me questions about him. And again, I know I didn't know him as well as several other people out here did. Some people knew him far better for far longer than I did. So I'm not trying to act like we were, I'm his godfather of his kids or something like that. It wasn't like that. It was just in a short amount of time, we got very close very quickly. Because he was just very, you know, very easy to talk to. We had a little bit in common. And it started with a song and a post. So, Yuri, buddy, gonna miss you. For those who are in the UK, if you want to do like a tribute to him, his favorite set ever, and I was sure to ask Susanna this. Susanna? I'm sure, I don't know. What was his favorite set? And it was Pinnacle Grooming. And I should have written this down. It's the label is a race car driver. He was big into racing. European race car driving, not NASCAR. And maybe I can go find the link to that and put it down there. I can order it. It's just going to be expensive. Pinnacle's, like, shipping alone, I think it's like $30 something, $35. I might get it though, but that was his favorite set. It's that photo I was talking about in her home. That set's laying there with the Goodfellas smile, the gold and silver razor there. I forget the name. So, life, man. Death really pisses me off. It really does. Just you live a whole life. Any person you pass, if you could turn their life into a book, there's some couple chapters that'd be interesting, worth the read, and someone passes away, and that's just it. A whole life lived, and most people won't know any of it. Really bugs me. Anywho, that'll do it. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Just a ramble video, but wonderful guy that we lost. Like I said, just chip in, go to that link if you can. Don't break the bank, but if you could help them out, you'd be helping out a good family. And that'll do it. The Admiral's just released. Completely beautiful. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful bull. That's available if you're interested. Go check that out. Captain's Choice. All this was free, like usual. Or, excuse me. All of this I paid for was not free, like usual. Thanks for watching, especially if you made it to the end. Really appreciate it. Again, I know this is longer, but I needed it. Hope it shed some insight into him. And thank you if you go and you donate, even if you go take the time to read up on him. Appreciate that. And that's, YouTube has nothing to do with the donations. It's all GoFundMe. I don't know if that helps to put that. Maybe I should put it in the description. That makes more sense. Y'all take care. Life's short. Live it. Enjoy it. That goes for me too. We all forget, don't we? One thing I was going to say, I'll close it with this. Right after I found out he passed away, our car has been leaking coolant. It's been so cold here that it's like single digits. And we started leaking coolant. And it turns out the hoses and the thermostat housing of our car were all getting screwed up because of the cold, because everything was shrinking and contracting, and just it sprung a leak. Well, of course, being a Hyundai, I had, you got this narrow little metal and plastic filled crevice to shove your hand, and you're getting coolant all over your hands. Well, with a wrench, fun stuff. So I'm trying to tighten stuff and replace hose clamps and all that. What should have been an hour job was like 4 hours. I didn't have the right size hose clamps. Went and got one. Turns out I got the wrong size. Went back to the store. It was just fun stuff. I finally finished that. I go in the house. I go in to wash my hands. And ice water comes out of our sink. And Jess was like, I didn't want to tell you. I think the pilot light or something on the water heater went out. And I just knew in my head, I'm like, the freaking water heater busted, didn't it? And I go down, and sure enough, the pilot light is on. So our water heater chose that day to start crapping out on us. It's working for now. I got it going again, but I think we need a new water heater. So isn't it fun when two things like that happen simultaneously? My point is, I was done. I was like, screw today. I'm finished. I'm done. I'm done. From two little things like that. If someone had walked by and said hi to me, I wouldn't have been rude to them, but I would have been short. I'm not in the mood to chat. Just leave me alone. Hey, how's it going, Bill? Good to see you. Yeah, thanks. All right, well, I got to go in now. I would have not been in the mood. Now imagine what he was going through. Yuri. I don't think I'd be talking to a lot of people, and I definitely wouldn't be that cheery. I don't think. I don't know. We never know till it's us, but that's a rare breed of human being. So, yeah, that'll do it. 35 minutes, 36 minutes. Y'all take care. Thank you for watching, especially if you made it to the end. Really appreciate it. Till next time. I'll put out another video as soon as I can, okay? Happy shaving, everyone. Go hug your loved ones. Appreciate everything. Try to. It's hard to, but we should. Take it easy. Happy shaving, everyone. Till next time.